Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a minute. I think it's been like 3 months since I did my last video. Sorry. So today I'm going to be doing a story time about my first fight. So this takes place when I was about 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old, and I was in 5th grade. So I went to school on the reservation in Shiprock, New Mexico. It's mainly Navajos that live there, which is a Native American tribe, and that's what tribe I'm from. My mother is full-blooded Navajo. So I had two really good friends that I hung out with in 5th grade. You know how like you always have like those friends that you hang out with every day? Well, in 5th grade, I had two of them, and we'll call them Melissa and Brittany. So I hung out with them every day. They were like my girls, you know. And I was like the type that like I was able to chill with the guys too, but I wasn't boy crazy or like trying to be in a relationship or anything. I mean, I was only in 5th grade, so. And plus my mom, you know, she like beat it into my head, like, you better not ever have a boyfriend or anything like that. And she would tell me like, if I ever find out that you have a boyfriend at this age, I'm gonna beat you. So I was really scared of her, so of course I was like, hell no, I ain't about to do that. And there was this other girl that she wasn't in my class because in 5th grade it was like we still only had one class throughout the whole day. And Melissa and Brittany were both in my class. And the class that was right next door to us had two girls that I used to hang out with that were my good friends, like how Brittany and Melissa were. Well, these two girls in this next class next door to us, they were my good friends, like Brittany and Melissa, but in 3rd grade. And you know how like when you're in elementary school, it's like, well, in school, it's like people, you hang out with people and you're really close one year, and then the next school year it's like you just wave at each other in the halls, and then pretty soon you just pass each other by like you never knew each other. Well, it was like that. Like we were really close in 3rd grade, and then 4th grade we still had a class together, but we started to drift apart kind of. And then I got transferred to a different school, and when I came back, we were just like we didn't talk whatsoever. And the main one that I used to be friends with, see, we'll call her Angel. So Angel had a friend that just transferred to our school, and we'll call her Tiffany. So Tiffany was like the really boy crazy type. You know, she was always talking to a boy. She was always passing notes with a boy. And if anybody messed with one of those boys that she was crushing on, it was a problem. So she was crushing on this certain boy, and we'll call him Melvin. And she was crushing on Melvin, and I was cool with him and his friends. My group of friends were cool with his group of friends. And, you know, it got to the point to where, like, we started to eat lunch together, but it wasn't, you know, like, any funny type of shit. It was just, like, you know, like, we were just cool with each other. So, I guess, Tiffany seen us eating lunch together, and I guess she had already been like crushing on him, you know, like trying to talk to him every chance she could and writing letters and all of that. And I was like unaware of any of this because, like, you know, like I don't give a fuck. I mean, like, I don't have a crush on anybody or anything like that, so I didn't care about anything like that. You know, I was just worried about school and my home life, and that was it. So Tiffany sees us all eating lunch together, and I guess she felt some type of way about it. So while we're eating lunch, you know that feeling when you can just feel like somebody's just staring at you? Well, I felt that, and so I was like looking around to like see who was looking at me. and I see Tiffany sitting with Angel and their group of friends at a different table, and you know, she keeps looking up at me, acting like she's talking, like, but yeah, she keeps looking up at me. So I notice her and I say to Melissa, I'm like, do you know why Tiffany keeps staring over here? And she's like, no. And so I asked Melvin, I'm like, hey, are you with Tiffany or something? And he's like, no. He's like, she has a crush on me, but we're not together. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, why? I was like, because she keeps staring at me and it's just kind of making me feel uncomfortable. And he was all like, oh, just ignore her. She's weird. So I just ignore it. And then I guess that day after lunch, when we went to recess, I guess Tiffany like went to Melvin and was talking to him about what was going on. And I don't know what Melvin told her, but it seemed like it was something that was not true. Because all of a sudden she was like, you know, dogging me down in the halls and everything. And it might have been 5th grade, but I wasn't no bitch. So whenever I would see her dogging me down, I would look at her the same way. And, you know, but it's only 5th grade, so that's just, at this point, it was just us dogging each other down in the hallways, you know. And I didn't know why. I was only dogging her down because she was looking at me crazy. So, you know, a few days passed, and then I think it was a Friday at school. And I had been hearing that she had a problem with me because of Melvin, because she was saying that they were dating and he was saying that they weren't. But, you know, that wasn't any of my business. I didn't care about any of that. All I cared about was why she was looking at me crazy. So, before lunch on Friday, me and my friends were the last one to go in. And, so we were at the end of the lunch line, and she was like almost at the front with her friends. And I just see her coming down towards me, and she comes over to me and she's like, Shyla. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, can I talk to you, please? And I'm like, all right. So we go out into the hallway, like right outside of the cafeteria. And she starts telling me, like, yeah, I really like Melvin. Him and I, you know, we're not together, but I really want to be with him. But I don't know, he's not really, like, telling me that he likes me or anything like that. But I really want him to. And I'm just standing there like, And she's like, so I was talking to him. Sorry about all that noise. It's my cat. There's like a big box that we have that's like from like a chair or something, and she's just in that box going crazy. Hold on. I didn't even realize that she was making all that noise until I noticed I was trying to talk louder. Sorry, y'all. How annoying. But anyways, and so she tells me, she was like, I talked to him, and he told me that, keep in mind that he was not the only one that I was cool with. It was like 2 other dudes in his little group that I was cool with too. So she said that she was like, I talked to all of them and they told me that I could come and sit with them at lunch tomorrow, but only if I fought you first. And I was like, what? Only if you fought me first? They said that? And she was like, yeah. She was like, so can we fight after lunch? But like a fake fight though, like a play fight. And I was like, I don't really want to play fight. She was like, please, Shyla, please. And so I was like, we can fight, but I'm not going to play fight. And she was like, well, can you just like not, you know, get too crazy or like not hit me in the face or anything too bad like that because I don't want to be embarrassed. So I was like, all right, we can fight after lunch. And so she was like, okay, we'll meet in the grass by the track, by that big tree. And I was like, okay. So she goes back to her friends, and it's obvious that they're talking about what was going on because Angel and the other people in their little group kept looking back at me and my group. And so I go to my friends and they're like, what the hell was that about? And so I told them, like, this bitch wants to play fight after lunch. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, she was like telling me, da 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 da. Like, she said Malvin and them were all telling her to come and fight me, and that would be the only way that she could come and sit and have lunch with them. And they were like, damn, are you serious? That's messed up. And I was like, yeah, that's really fucked up. I was pissed off because I thought that they were supposed to be my homeboys, but here they are trying to make problems for me and trying to make me fight someone, some little hoe. So that really pissed me off, and that just made me feel like, like I don't even want to fuck with them anymore. So we go, we get our lunch, we eat and all of that, and while we're eating, I noticed that Tiffany is running back and forth from her group of friends to Melvin and his friends, and she was sitting there, and it was obvious that she was telling them, like, yeah, we're gonna fight, because Melvin and his group of friends kept looking at me, and I was just like, I was just really annoyed with all of them. So after lunch, we go, we dump our trays, and then we go head outside to, like, where that big tree was, where she said that we would meet her at. So we're sitting there by that tree, and I see Tiffany and Angel and their friends walking towards us, and I'm like, all right, it's about to happen. And then, I look over to the side, and I see that from a distance, Melvin and his group of friends are sitting by, like, the stairs by the school, and they're sitting over there. There's, like, on the stairs, there's, like, bars, like the rails that you walk up with, and I see them, the bars are like this, and they're watching us like this, and I'm just like, and so she comes over, and I stand up, and I'm like, so what's up? And she pushes me, and I push her back, and then she pushes me again, and I grab her, and I, like, wrap my arm around her neck, and I, like, I did one of those moves, like, where you put your foot behind their leg and you, like, throw them down. So that's what I did. And I don't really remember, like, too much of how the fight really went, but I do remember she pulled out a chunk of my hair down here. And yeah, I don't really remember, like, every single detail because, this was back in 5th grade, and like how when you get into a fight, it's like your adrenaline is so high that after the fight's over, it's, like, kind of hard to remember all the details. It's like you only remember the beginning and, like, the end. So I don't really remember what happened, but we both didn't, like, really do damage to each other. I didn't have anything on my face, and she didn't have anything on her face either. Except, like, maybe, like, a few red marks, but that was it. So we finished fighting, it didn't last too long, maybe at least, like, a minute and a half. So I hear yelling coming from a distance, and we both get up, and we look, and we see that it's the Navajo language teacher coming to us, and she's like, you girls, cut it out, get up, go, stop fighting. And so we stand up, and like, we kind of separate. We go walk to our group of friends that were, like, standing there on both sides watching us. And yeah, and the teacher was still yelling. She was like, you go over there, you go over there. And she actually didn't even, like, try to tell us, like, come with me, come to the principal's office, you guys are in trouble, or nothing like that. She just told us, get away from each other. So we do, and then right after that, the bell rings. So we go and we get in line for to go back inside because we can't just like go inside. We have to get in our line of our classroom and wait for our teacher to come and get us. So, you know, we're standing in line and my line is right next to her line, which she was in the same class with like her group of friends and with Melvin and all of them. And it was just me and my two friends that were in my class. So, you know, our lines are like parallel. And you know, at this time, like my adrenaline is pumping, like I'm mad, and you know, like I forgot about everything. I was just angry. So I look over and I see that Angel is standing there looking at me like this. And so I just look at them like the same way, and I just try to ignore it because there's like a bunch of teachers standing right there, like trying to get their trying to get their students inside. So I just ignore it, and I'm just standing there waiting to go inside. And so our classes go inside, and you know, our teachers tell us, if you need to use the restroom, go now, because once we get into the classroom, you're not going to be able to go for a while. So me and my friends, we go into the restroom, and I guess Angel and Tiffany come into the restroom too with their friends, and so we're all in there, and you know, I'm like, I go do my business, and then I come out and I wash my hands and everything. And as I'm washing my hands, I can feel someone staring at me again. So I look over and I see that it's Angel, and she's, you know, she's standing there doing the same thing, looking at me, mean mugging and all that. And so I look at her and I was like, "What's up, Angel? You want some too or what?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, quit fucking looking at me like that then." And so she just went like and went out of the restroom with her friends, and you know, I was just heated. And after that, I guess the teacher had heard like what was going on, because she came in and she was standing there making sure nothing was going on. And so I just washed my hands and I go out, and then